Some weeks things just don't go to plan, and this week, well, that was definitely one of those weeks. Hello and welcome to Model Kit Stuff, and welcome to this week's Table Talk. And a big welcome to all of you new subscribers that have joined up the channel during the last week. A big welcome to you. I'm sure you'll find something of interest on the channel. And what we do on this video, the Table Talk video, is we do just that. We talk about what's going on the table. We talk about what happened in the week that's just gone, what the plan is for the week coming up, and sometimes we talk about longer term plans, bits and pieces. And as we head towards Christmas, we'll be doing a little bit more about that as well. So lots going on. So let's get stuck into why this week simply didn't go to plan. It actually starts the week before. So when Airfix were able to get their Fairy Gannet out, I got a bit excited because I got it on pre-order. It's been on pre-order since January. I will have been one of the very first people to order it. Thus, I should be one of the first people to get it. So the tale of woe around this kit, which I still don't have, starts on I think it was Thursday last week when I got an email saying they weren't able to take my payment. So I immediately rang them up and made payment on exactly the same card, and surprisingly it went straight through. Anyway, as I knew it should do. So that delayed it. So then it's in the system. It's not been shipped out with the initial stuff. It's been delayed and it's got to go back through the system 3 to 5 days. So I'm thinking, well, let's hope it's closer to 3. Usually they say that, and you get it even a couple of days. Delivery from Airfix is really, really good as a general rule, but not this one. So I then on that Friday record last week's Table Talk, and I say, look, Gannet's coming, and if it gets here in time, 3 days, Wednesday, then I'll record first impressions and we'll do it as a premiere. If it comes a bit later and I haven't had time to record the video, we'll do a live stream in the evening and do a first impressions live. What I didn't say to you was what the plan is if it doesn't go out. Well, the plan was always the Hobby Boss tank that went out. We'll come back to that as something else that didn't go to plan. But it doesn't turn up on the Monday. And then on the Tuesday, I'm in work all day, but my daughter wasn't in college. She was at home, and I got 3 deliveries from different companies on that day, and my daughter was able to take all of them. And then when I went on to tracking in the evening, it said, we're tempted to deliver at 1:25 and you weren't in. Well, that can't be true, because at 1:30, just 5 minutes later, DHL had managed to deliver. So don't figure that. I was fairly adamant, my daughter Daisy was fairly adamant they had not even been on the street and not turned up at all. So that meant on Tuesday, I'm thinking, right, okay, have we got a problem? It's still got a chance of turning up Wednesday. But usually DPD put a card through, and they hadn't done that. So Tuesday comes and goes and nothing happens. So I then have a look and it says, we've missed you and we're going to deliver on the Wednesday. So, okay, Wednesday comes, goes, nothing delivered. So I log on in the evening and it says we will deliver during Wednesday, but there's no time, and I haven't had an email to say we're going to deliver in this hour that you usually get. So I'm thinking this is smelling fishy. So I go on the little chatbot thing on DHL on the Wednesday night and say, can you give me an estimated time of delivery for this delivery that you're doing today? And they said, oh, well, just have a look into it. And then I said, you claim to have tried to deliver yesterday, but we believe you didn't. So it then takes you to someone to talk to, the chatbot. Once it detects there's a problem, you go in a queue to talk to an actual person. So that happened. I was 36 in the queue and thinking, oh, I'm going to be here for hours. But actually, it cleared in quite quick time. So explained what had gone on, said, I don't believe you tried to deliver, but that's what your system's saying. And your system hasn't updated. And I haven't got a time for a delivery. Can you tell me what's going on? And they said, right, yeah, there was an attempt to deliver yesterday. And it went back to the depot because it was undelivered. And then at 8:20, the tracking of the box stops. Okay, so what time are you delivering it? Well, I'll have to investigate. So he went away. It was about 2-3 minutes. Then chat burst back into life. We can't find the box on the tracking system. I said, so when you tried to deliver it yesterday, which you didn't do, you'd already lost the box. Have you lost the box? Because I need to tell Airfix. And they said, well, we have to have 24 hours because it might appear again. So you can't contact Airfix until 8:20 tonight. Okay. So treating it as lost. So send an email to Airfix customer service at about 8:30 as it happens. Taking a screenshot of the chat, put that in, said, believe my delivery's been lost. What can I do about it? I know you need to put a claim in, but how do I get my parcel? So you get an automated response back because it was an email, and it says it might take up to 5 days to respond. Well, I ain't got 5 days. So Thursday morning, I ring up Airfix customer service. After having gone back on DHL and had a look at, not DHL, DPD, whatever they're called, DPD, and check, and the screen's refreshed to say that that they've misdelivered, but it doesn't say anything else. Now, the guy in the chat had said there'd been a technical difficulty with the delivery, which is different to sorry I missed you, which is what the previous messages had said. So I ring up customer service and I say, look, I'm being told that they've lost the box, unfortunately. What can I do about it? And she said, right, let me just have a look at your order. And she was able to go in and she said, well, it shows that it's out for delivery today. I said, right, well, you're seeing something that I can't see. So can you just confirm that, please? And she said, yeah, what I'll do is I'll just investigate. I'll ring them up and check that that's happening. And then I will send you an email. So about an hour later, I refreshed the tracking and it's saying the same. And then I checked my emails and I got an email from DPD with the Hornby Hobbies logo on saying, we have changed your delivery as you requested and will now be delivering on Friday. And as the time of me recording this, as you know, I record this on Friday, I still don't have it. So the story may be to continue, I don't know. So if it does turn up, that's what we'll be doing next week, but we'll come to next week in a minute. So that was the first thing that didn't go to plan. Let's talk about what happened last week, and then we can cover off the other thing that didn't go to plan. So Monday, we kicked Monday off with the gripper tool, which is a fabulous tool. If you didn't watch the video, one sec. It's all about this, which is like a little mini vise. This is one I've had for years, and I've used it a number of times on the builds here, and it's really, really handy tool. And so that video is talking about that. A lot of people were interested in it. I use it quite a bit. I suggested a couple of improvements, and a number of people agreed with those, people who experienced the tool themselves. So that's a good little video. If you missed it, it's definitely a handy tool to have a look at. So that was Monday. Then Wednesday, we had the Hobby Boss artillery piece mounted on wheels. And that was another thing that didn't go to plan. I hadn't spotted it. I do not know how I did not spot it, but I didn't include the instructions review. It was just the kit parts. So that's not like me at all, because what usually happens is I record these things, and sometimes I'll record the box opening and the instructions, and then in my lunch break, depends on how long it takes, and then after that, maybe in the evening or after work, but for an hour before I have to start thinking about making tea, if it's a day I'm not having to pick my daughter up, then I am able to do that. So there's a separation of the two. And then when it comes up on my little spreadsheet saying you've planned to have this go out for this week, I then take all the filmed documents off the cloud and put them in a folder on my computer, so I can then dump them into my software for editing and create the movie. So that means that usually I pick everything up, transfer it over. Now, with a first impressions video, I have a little trick. So if I say something and I've coughed, or an alarm's gone off, or something's happened, I immediately stop the video. So what I have to do when I'm editing is listen to the back end of the video, see where I need to cut it, and then put a transition in to join it to the next section of video, and you string it all together that way. Means I can edit my videos super quickly. I'm not having to listen to everything I say, because I know that I've stopped the video when I've said something wrong or forgotten my words or something weird's gone happened. So that's what I did. That's what I do with this video as well, and it's what I do with my tool video on a Monday. Slightly different for the build videos. You have to listen to those a little bit more because of the way they're filmed, but it means you can do it super quickly. So what I do is I dump it all in. I then listen to the intro piece and get the sound levels right and the background noise and all that stuff, dump that in the front, and then whatever setting I've used on that, I then emulate across all of them in one go, and then I can just concentrate on the gaps between the videos, because I know that's where we need to do a little bit of editing. So an hour-long first impressions video, I can put the documents in, edit it, and upload it back onto my computer, ready to be uploaded onto YouTube in about 15 minutes. So I've got really efficient with practice over the last few years. So I've done that, but in that mix, I've missed my instructions, which is probably one long video without a break, wasn't in there. So I've been a bit dopey, basically. So yeah, and one or two people spotted that and said, oops, where's the instructions? Because you're used to my format, you know how I do it. So yeah, no point me relaunching it and putting it back in or anything like that. So it is what it is, but just a week that didn't go to plan. And then on Friday, we have Beaufighter. So as I record this, that's not gone live yet. So that'll be our first part of our, I keep saying Beaufighter, but I think it's a Beauford. This thing here, it's the first part of that going out. So yeah, should be good, should be fun, and a nice change from the big Gota from the world of aeroplanes. So that's what happened last week in terms of videos and bits and pieces like that. So continuing the theme, my weekend didn't go to plan either when we talk about what goes on the bench. So the plan was to do a little bit more of the Endeavour on Saturday morning. Now that particular Saturday I was dropping Alice off at her mum's, which is not something I usually do on a Saturday. It's usually done done on a Friday morning before she goes to school, and then she stays that weekend and then comes back to me on the Monday. But in this instance, I was dropping her off on the Saturday because her mum had something to do at university on a Friday night. Yeah, whatever. So by the time I'd done my food shop Saturday morning, after I'd slept in later than usual, I'm usually up about 6, didn't get up till 7:30. Then I did the food shop, then took Alice back. That was my Saturday morning gone. So I did nothing on the Endeavour. So that was a bit annoying. Hopefully this weekend we'll be able to pull that back a little bit and get at least the next step done on the Endeavour, which is installing the deck. We did then on the Sunday, I was then working on this, and we managed to get the brown down, although it looks very green to me, and we've masked it off. So that's ready for painting. You can see I've gone with the blue tack method this time. So I need to get the earth brown colour down on it. So I'm probably going to do that tonight while I'm listening to this first video and chatting to people. We'll probably lay down the paint on that the same evening. So that will be getting us to the point where we can then do decals, final assembly, final paint. So yeah, this is moving along quite nicely. Yeah, really happy with that. So it won't be long before we're on that matchbox build, which I'm looking forward to doing in fairness. So yeah, that was that. So, and that was my weekend of modelling. Didn't get very much done at all, but I did manage to grab some time in the week, and let me just move this out of the way. And when I got some time in the week, I started that bad boy. Yeah, we have started Scharnhorst. In fact, I've recorded the first video, the part 1 of the Scharnhorst, and that is now loaded up onto YouTube. It's waiting to go. I could switch it on now and you could see it, but you've got to wait till the 26th of December because that's the 80th anniversary of the sinking. So that's what I've agreed with Nigel we're going to do. So yeah, mine is going out at 8 o'clock as usual. I think Nigel's will be out a little bit later. So I had a good chat with Nigel this week. We spent a good couple of hours talking about the hull. We found a problem. I put in Nigel's little anchor correction, so that's gone in. Got to take it out now though, because after I'd put it in, started working out relative positions of the scuttles, and they don't work. So the distance is wrong. They're too low, but the anchor is right. So talking to Nigel and having a look at the book, we've agreed that actually the depth of the hull is wrong by 1 millimetre. So we talked through how we could resolve that, and the plan is actually to raise the hull by 1 millimetre. So my next step is to have a look at what is the implications of doing that, which on face value, it doesn't look too bad. So it's a matter of raising the deck 1 millimetre, raising the sides 1 millimetre. It gives us some advantages on other bits we can do, but we'll talk all about that in the video. But as you can see, we're starting to marker up things that need to be done and changed and that sort of stuff. Yeah, so it'll actually be easier because as it is, if I don't change the depth of the hull, I've got to move every single scuttle down, and the armour belt position will need to change, and the degaussing cable needs to change. So rather than moving everything down, let's correct that and put the millimetre on, in which case the scuttles can largely stay where they are in terms of height, positions of many of them aren't correct. But yeah, I think that'll be easier. So that was what I did one evening this week. Now then, some of you will recall last week I said that I'd ordered an artillery kit, and here it is. It might have been 2 weeks ago I mentioned it. So yeah, here it is. And I've got to be honest, it's a lot larger than I expected. And it came in a box where you could get about another 2 of these in the box. The box was huge, and they've just put some paper in. So it's got a little bit of impact damage, and I'm surprised there's not more because it was pretty poorly packed. But there you go. So I think this cost me 130 to 140, something like that. But I can't remember because I bought the figures for it at the same time, in for a penny, in for a pound, eh? So yeah, 135 scale artillery piece, and its railway transport carrier. Of which is a bit deceiving because it's actually 2, one at each end, and it's slung underneath, and it has a bit of track to set it on, and then I've got all these figures I can put on it to bring it to life a little bit. So should be cool. I was looking for something a bit more technically challenging, and it's about 1,400 pieces. So yeah. It does have vinyl tracks though, so I'm going to have to look into replacing those. Yeah, and then I'm told by Nigel, I mentioned it to Nigel, and he says when it's lifted on its transporter, you can see there's an image of the transporter there. You need to put something in that's not supplied in the kits to hold the tracks up, because otherwise the tracks would sag naturally. So there was some form of turnbuckles to hold them up. So that needs to be sorted. So there's a bit of research to be done, and a big first impressions video to be done, because there's a lot of sprues in this box. There's a lot of sprues, and there's more boxes inside the box. It's like a big ship kit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that. It's going to be very cool indeed. But what I want to do is I want to practice my figure painting before I start doing too many more figures. So I'm thinking of doing a figure build quite soon as well, where we can concentrate on honing my figure building skills, well, primarily my figure painting skills, so that I'm more confident when I'm doing my figures. I can do them, and they're passable. But I really want to, if you've done a good job of the model and the figures aren't to the same standard, it brings it all down a little bit, I think. So I want to just deal with that a little bit. So yeah, there you go. That is where I'm up to with stash ads. Very nice, isn't it? I'm at that point now where I've run out of packing material for selling kits. I've sold some on eBay. I intend to sell the rest of them through the channel first. So I'm going to do a little video and say, look, this is what I've got, and talk about how we can do that. And then you can just pay me by PayPal and I'll send them off. But I'm going to do it in small groups, because as I sell some, I use that money to get something else in that we can then first impressions, and then I use that packing material to send off what I'm selling, the next lot of stuff I'm selling. So I've got to manage it a little bit careful, but yeah, this basically came out of the revenue from adverts for last month, and 1 or 2 donations and bits and pieces. So yeah, really, really cool. And I think that's sort of the way we're going to go. We're going to go with new release kits, or kits that are really interesting and special. And I'm thinning my stash down so that I'll have less in number, but technically builds that might be a bit more challenging, a bit more fun, a bit more interesting from the point of view of a build diary, and something that I really want to build. So I've got lots of aircraft that I've collected over the last couple of years when I got into aircraft, and now I want to thin that down into, so I'm not going to get rid of my 132 Tamiya Mosquito and Corsair and the Vulcan bomber and Zukimuras and things like that. But a lot of my 148s, which are Spitfires, now I've got the 124 Spitfire, I don't need all the 148 ones. So we can ditch them, get some revenue back in the channel. So that's the plan. Yeah, all going to plan, I think, on that front. It's moving along nicely, and we've got more people watching the videos because it's winter and people aren't going out. So I'm getting more subscribers per month, and I'm getting more views per month. That means more revenue. My revenue has gone up by, well, I doubled my revenue when I launched merch, and I have now put another third on top of that just from people watching adverts. So it's a nice little pickup, and I'm hoping that when Scharnhorst launches on the 26th, that's going to pull some more people in and more views. So some of the shipbuilders don't watch anything else that I do other than the ships. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that kicks off, especially as I'm doing it as a buddy build with Nigel, and we've talked about that. And Nigel, bless him, I've said this before and I'll say it again, he's the nicest man in the hobby from the point of view of creators. It was lovely to me when I started out the channel, and he's very much conscious that for me the Scharnhorst build for my channel is a bit like the 132 border Lank for his channel, and he's very conscious of not eclipsing my build with his. Ultimately, once we get past the hull, we're going to go off in different directions. We're doing different paint schemes, and we're going to tackle it in different ways. So we'll be doing different places, and we're going to do some live streams together, which will bring all of our viewers together. And that sort of stuff. So there's lots of things we're planning, but Nigel, bless him, he's being really, really helpful, really, really thoughtful, brilliant guy. So looking forward to Scharnhorst and what that might mean for the rest of my viewers who perhaps aren't so interested in ships and want to see what I'm doing with aircraft and trucks and tanks and that sort of stuff. So yeah. I think the channel's fundamentally in a good place as we start motoring into our 4th year. So what is coming up next week? Well, on Monday, we have another tool review. So quite an interesting one for those people who are perhaps new to the hobby and just starting out on collecting tools. Yeah, really great little tool, actually. You saw me using it in the ferret build. So we're doing that on Monday. Then Wednesday, we'll be doing the ferry gannet. And we'll just do it as a straight first impressions, do a nice polished presentation, link it into scale mates and leave it to accumulate. So that's the plan with that. There's nothing more I can do with it. We've lost the moment, as it were, and other people have done their inbox reviews. But as you know, I like to do nice in-depth ones. So having looked at it at Telford, I know it's a fairly detailed kit and it looks fairly awesome. So yeah, I'd probably be one of the last people to review it now, which is a bit annoying, but it's not. It's the first time that I've had an Airfix kit lost. Just sod's law, innit? So that's Wednesday. If for it's not turned up and there's another disaster and I still don't have the kit, then we'll be having a first impressions of Airfix's bomb refueling set, something like that. So it's basically a set of vehicles for a diorama around your 172 bomber, Wellington or Lancaster or whatever. So I think it's yeah. So yeah, that's the plan. It's called Bomb Supply Set, I think, and it was a surprising video. So yeah, if not, we will be shuffling things around for the ferret. But that's the plan B. And then on Friday we have, believe it or not, episode 29 of the Queen Mary 2, which I think will be the penultimate episode. So it'll be the usual format. We'll have some more commentary from Stephen, and we'll be having a look at some of the photo etching stuff that you saw last week on here, and pulling that together along with lifeboats and various other bits and pieces. So you can feel it coming towards the end. So yeah, we will see what happens. So she is coming up for her 20th anniversary, actually, next month in December. Queen Mary 2 is 20 years old, would you believe? I think she's just had another refit and a spruce up ready for the occasion. So I might be doing something around that at the time. I might not. Not decided yet, but I've sort of, Stephen and I have sort of touched on it, but we've not finalised anything as yet. So it largely depends on what Stephen wants to do. So yeah, so that might be coming up, and then that sort of gets us. Well, we're into December then, aren't we? Which leads me to say, big reminder: supplier showcase. I have had nowhere near enough entries, nowhere near. It's going to be about a minute long currently. So start taking your photographs, send me an email, modelkitstuff@gmail.com, and send me 1 to 3 pictures of a model you'd like to share in the showcase. I mean, the idea is that you share something that you did during the course of the year, and share it with the fellow subscribers, so that people can see your work. It's my little thank you for you guys subscribing, and it's nice to share and see what everybody else has been working on. And we saw quite an eclectic mix last year, but I've not had enough entries. So please take the time. I will do a separate video and put it out for those people that don't watch Table Talk and therefore perhaps don't know, and that should speed that up. So I've got that to do, and I've got some various other things to do, because I'm having a week off from the channel over Christmas, but I will have stuff preloaded up, so you won't necessarily notice, other than there won't be a Table Talk video Christmas week, but there will be something else instead. So yeah, I've got various other bits and pieces that I've got to record. I've got a lot of recording to do over the next couple of weeks, so that's sort of in my plan right now. So, something new as we run up to Christmas in my merchandise store. So we have a new design that's gone in, and it's based around the Gotha. So there you go. We've got them in the store now. You can actually go in and change the colour of those t-shirts to whatever you fancy. And if you want, you can even scale the pictures and mess around with it, is my understanding. I get a slightly different view when I go in the store than if I went in as a customer. But yeah, so it says, I watched the build, and then it's got a big picture of the completed Gotha. So yeah, if you're struggling for ideas for your loved ones to give you something for Christmas, there you go. So you can get that logo on. There's a specially designed cup with a red handle, white with a red handle. Let's see if we can find that for you. There we go. So there's the cup with the red handle, and you can get a sticker. There's the sticker. It's good quality vinyl sticker, and there's also a little drawstring bag and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, and all the usual stuff that's in there, the Table Talk t-shirts and the model kit stuff ones as well, and you can get them in apron stickers and cups and all sorts of stuff. So go and have a look if you're struggling with ideas for Christmas. There you go, I might have just helped you out. So all of the money that is raised from the sale of anything from the merchandise store goes into the channel, doesn't come to me, and it's one of the ways that you can support the channel, along with hitting the like button, making comments under the videos, sharing on your Facebook pages that you might be members of, and also you can hit super thanks and you can hit super chat, of which I'll get 60% of whatever you give. If you want to ensure that the channel gets everything, and that YouTube doesn't take its 40% cut, then you can also PayPal me, and the link for my PayPal will be below this video, and you can just go in, and 100% of what I receive will then go into the channel, and we transfer that every week. So yeah, that's where we're up to. I think that probably covers off everything. Let me just have a think. Well, to be honest, I think that's it. I think we're covered off. I can't think of anything else that we need to talk about. So this weekend, I'll be working on getting the Beaufighter paint on, getting some more Endeavour done, and then Queen Mary 2 on Sunday. So that's the plan. That'll be painting of photo etch primarily, and some more photo etch going in. And then if that all goes to plan, we'll start making up some deck chairs and bits and pieces. When I've videoed that, we are pretty much done. And then until I've put them all on, and then I can do a final reveal bit for the video. So might be a little bit of a gap. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start hopping onto the Scharnhorst and doing some of that and trying to get ahead so that we can then start getting some video material ready to go out. At this moment in time, I've got videos that get me to around about the week before Christmas, just starting to work on those. And Christmas week videos, like I said earlier, I need to record. And then over Christmas, I'm going to do a number of first impressions videos and catch up on those. So I've got a bank of those as well. So lots going on as always. But yeah, I think we're in a good place as we leave 2023 and enter 2024. So brilliant. Thank you all very much for watching. A pleasure as always to have you on the channel. I will see you next week, and in the meantime, you enjoy your modelling. Bye for now.